just do it with my episode. The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown. Throwing deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown! He's got a man. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. He's got it over the touchdown. Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. 1, 2, 3, let's go! What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Listen, if you are a Patreon, I do hope you enjoyed the latest episode of 3 Takes Thursday I dropped on Patreon. I talked about a bit more about Butch Barry. Talked about it was right after, a couple hours after Zach Thomas got officially inducted. So emotions were high. We watched the induction, the video of Jimmy Johnson coming to celebrate him and induct him and knocking on his door, and the emotion was real. So we talked about that and some other stuff. So I thought it was one of the better episodes of 3 Takes Thursday. Listen, if you're a Patreon, you get exclusive access to that. I drop it every Thursday. And on top of that, you get insider info just like channel members do here. So become a Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside The NFL for exclusive content. And I'll be growing that as the offseason continues. Man, before we get into the football stuff, I do got to say this, though. Oh, man. Hold on a sec. Shout out. I want everyone in the chat, please send good vibes, good energy towards the homie No Fins. He says he was stuck in the hospital the last few days and now forced to be on a liquid diet. Doctor ordered that he takes 2 days off work. On the plus side, he can watch the whole Super Bowl live. Listen, I need everyone in the chat right now. Throw up your prayer signs, throw up whatever you want. Send best wishes and positive energy to No Name Fins for a quick recovery, man. And so he can get on a solid diet as soon as possible in the next 24 hours so he can go and enjoy those chicken wings and all the other good fixins for the Super Bowl, man. Thinking of you, bro. I hope you're doing well. No name. Appreciate you, homie, for even coming through while you're laid up in the hospital, man. That's massive, bro. I appreciate you, man. I hope you recover really quickly, man. Pancreatitis, that's terrible, bro. That is awful. I hope you're okay, man. Thinking about you, praying for you, bro. Okay, continuing on with the non-football stuff, because we were going to start off with non-football stuff anyway, so prayers up for No Name is a good way to start off the show. Don't hate me for the segue, but I do want to, because I saw the homie Austin in there. First of all, shout out to the homie Austin, foxing around. It's a homie right there. Straight up hit up Nick Hicks up on public domain on Twitter and said, listen, when are we going to get Tua on Phinside The NFL, right? And, man, I take pride in that. I think, I was thinking about this earlier. I think, I'm definitely, I look at myself as a content creator and a podcaster, right? And, I think that's what you could probably label me as. Now, a guy like Doug, I don't really look at him as a podcaster. I look at Doug as more of like a content creator, right? I look at each thing as like a show, right? A 15, 20-minute show, whereas like I give y'all straight up podcast episodes, whether I'm with Richmond Webb, whether I'm by myself, whether I'm with Neil, whatever the case may be. So to have you vouch for me like that, Austin, that's huge, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a ton, dog. I put a lot of work into trying to be the best podcaster possible and content creator possible for this community, man. So when you do stuff like that, it's huge. But speaking of you, Austin, man, Hogwarts legacy, man. I'm going to tell you all this. Listen, I don't care who you love. I don't care what side of the plate you swing from. What do you do in your private life? Who you love, that's none of my business. And period. So who am I to judge you, or who am I to give my opinion on who you love or how you love? That's not my stance. Do you, boo-boo? That's what I say, all right? And so this is not coming. I don't want to see no comments about this, but I got to say, this game, whoo-wee. Man, if you got a PS5, you got an Xbox, you got a PC, I haven't played. I'll punch myself, okay? I'll punch myself, all right? I'll give myself the old right hook. I haven't played God of War yet, and I'm going to play it after Hogwarts because I wasn't going to get God of War when I knew Hogwarts was coming around the corner, and I was playing something back in when God of War released. I forget what I was playing, but anyways, so I'll play that after. But to this point, minus not playing God of War, this next gen stuff, Hogwarts is the best game I've ever played. This is like and you know why I love it? I'm going to tell you why I love it. One of my favorite games growing up, well, not growing up, in my teens was it my teens? Whenever it came out was Bully. I don't know if all y'all remember Bully by Rockstar. It was like Grand Theft Auto, you know, but like at a school. This reminds me of like a wizarding bully. I absolutely love it, man. So it's absolutely fire. It's absolutely fire, man. Man, if you haven't played that, listen, it has nothing to do with well, I mean, it's the lore, but it's like 100 years or so before Harry Potter. Austin foxing around, he'll correct me if I'm wrong. It's like something like that, so none of those people are around. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, I don't give, bro, like, listen, I don't know J.K. Rowling from a can of paint, all right? And my wife's the massive Harry Potter fan, not me. I watch it with her, and I like it, I enjoy it with her, whatever, but I haven't even read the books, all right? The game, though, sign me up, baby. Sign me up. Yo, Cool Iguana knows what's up. Bully was God tier, bro. I'm telling you, everyone sleeps on Bully. One of my favorite games ever, bro. Favorite games ever. Just telling you, man, that game was amazing. You know, and I'm a guy who likes, I love Red Dead Redemption, sports games, etc., etc. But Bully was one of my favorite games ever, man. So, listen. Again, there are no political, I'm not coming from a political or anything like that viewpoint. I'm just coming from a gamer viewpoint. That thing is, mwah. Oh my God. That is like the new GTA. They are going to keep updating that with DLC. I'm telling y'all for like 2 years. Watch. Because that game is just unbelievable. Anyways, enough about that. Guys, yesterday was the media session. And, you know, we're going to get into everything here and break everything down. We got to give kudos. First of all, shout out to Doll Freaky. She ended up not winning Fan of the Year, but by God, she should have. Clearly rigged for that award, for that Seahawk fan to give that award. Clearly rigged. So, shout out to Doll Freaky, man. To me, the Fan of the Year right there. So, shout out to Doll Freaky. Tua, everyone hating, like, I see this. It's funny. The same conspiracy people that are like, well, Tua's probably faking his concussion. There's the same one saying, well, we don't know why Tua canceled. Come on, man. It's obvious why Tua canceled. We'll go over it here, but that was classless. That was disgusting. Man, listen, we'll get into it. We'll get into it, and I'll let my feelings be known. But anyone out here saying different, you're wild, man. You're wild. Like, it's clear as day why Tua Tagovailoa snubbed the media, and rightfully so, man. He owes them nothing. He owes them. I see people out here, oh, you know, PR marketing. You think he left there and lost his Subway deal? Do you think he left there and lost his Adidas deal? Stop right now. Give me a break. Pat McAfee didn't cry. I'm telling y'all, Pat McAfee's a former player. I will tell you, and Pat McAfee has empathy. Pat McAfee is a good person. I can guarantee you, Tua and his people let them know what time it is and why he was canceling. I can guarantee you. And they probably said, yo, I get it. And why is everyone mad? Why are these people mad that all we were going to see was Florio and Simms do a 180, tuck their tails and gobble, gobble, gobble Tua's you-know-what right in their mouth. One in one cheek, one in the other, looking like a squirrel with two nuts in their mouth. That's all they were going to do. They were going to act like how they've been acting when he wasn't around. We all knew what the deal was going to be. There was going to be no Tom Brady questions. So, well, let's keep it a buck here. What? All you Tua haters are disappointed that we didn't get to see these guys suck up to Tua because now he's in their presence and they don't got the balls to be what they really are? Shucks. Can't believe I missed that. I just would have been laughing anyways. This way I laughed even louder when he canceled on them. Good. Pat McAfee, I would have loved to see him go on Pat McAfee because I like Pat McAfee. I respect Pat McAfee. But Florio and Simms, right up there, okay? That's how I feel about it. All right? These guys don't deserve to sit in his presence. Who are we lying? Who's lying to themselves after the stuff they've talked about him? That's like this. That's like Tua going on some of these shows or some of these channels or some of these Facebook groups that have been ripping him since he entered the league and giving them the time of the day. He owes them nothing. He will never give them anything. All right, let it settle in real well what Austin said. If Tua coming to YouTube and doing an interview with someone, guess what? It's probably going to be me or Doug. So, not probably, it will be me or Doug. Or it will be me and Doug. All right? Like, that's it. All right? You don't owe none of these people nothing. Not a goddamn thing. And good on him. Good on him. Good on him. You know what? Screw it. I would have done. Salty Tua is back, baby. Like George Costanza when he ate the mango. I'm back, baby. All right? And I'll take it. He don't owe him a damn thing. And we're going to show you why. I mean, if anyone saw this clip, if anyone saw this footage and heard the reasoning from his camp, they'd be like, yeah, I get it. They'd be like, yeah, I get it. So, I find it funny, man. I find it funny. And, you know, I gotta give a shout out to someone too. Jalen Phillips, man. When he gave a standing ovation, when Zach Thomas came out, and, you know, nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year, and even after he loses that award to Dak Prescott, which was clearly a big setup song and dance show, he goes and he does, you know, he goes back to right into the streets volunteering, man. Shout out to Jalen Phillips. What an absolutely amazing human being. So proud that Jalen Phillips is on my team, man. So proud that he's a cornerstone of this team. Absolutely fantastic human being. And you got to give that man props, man. He showed respect to the greats that came before him, like Zach Thomas. And he does everything he possibly can to better the community, man. So, Jalen Phillips, you are an absolutely outstanding human being. So proud you are part of the Miami Dolphins, man. Got to give him his props. Got to give him his due. I haven't heard really anyone talking about that, man. So, I had to let that be known because that was huge for me when I saw Jalen Phillips standing up like that, man. So, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. But, yeah, there's a poll. If you go over to the YouTube channel page, there is a poll there. Let me know if you guys want me to go live tomorrow. I've given you guys options. Do you want me to go live and open the panel so all you guys can join me up here and we can talk about the game as it's happening and we can talk Dolphin stuff as the game's happening? Do you want me to live react to the game on my own, or do you think it's one of those that I don't even bother, you know, live reacting to the Super Bowl? Because I usually do it every year, but I have noticed interest in this game has waned a little bit. So just let me know on that poll. Just go over there, slap that, and let me know what the deal is. Personally, man, you know, like, I think the Chiefs are going to win. I really do, man. So I think, man, you look at Patrick Mahomes' resume. 5 years in, the guy's already got a Hall of Fame resume. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think he's going to add another Super Bowl to that. Unbelievable. He is Man, the best natural passes I've ever seen in my life, definitely Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, and watching that kid, man. Unbelievable. Yo, Dub MCs, I literally just talked about Hogwarts for like 5 minutes, bro. I said it's like the best game I've ever played on the next-gen consoles, but that's because I haven't played, what's it called yet? God of War, right? So, let's get into everything here. We'll open up. We got a bunch to go over. We're gonna show you Tua. Advice is being taken. It's smart, and shout out to I feel like people were laughing at us over here. People were talking their ish, and now you hear Tua saying what he's saying, and people still don't understand. It's hilarious to me, man. It's ridiculous, man. So let's get into this. So it started off in the morning, his media rounds, and he went on Kay Adams' new show. So check out what he said on Kay Adams. He talked about falling and how he's going to prepare and how he's going to better himself for falling. Tua, the Judo black belt, baby. Let's go. Take a look.
I wanted to say congratulations, Nate. So I sat next to Nate for 6 years. One of my favorite things about him is that he was a dad of 3, the best dad. I was like, my gosh, if everybody could be a dad like Nate and love doing it. You have a new baby.
Yeah.
Congratulations. How is that?
Thank you.
Tell us.
It's the best thing. It's the best thing in the world. I know you can relate.
Changes your lens on how you see the world.
Changes your lens on everything. And I would say for me, most importantly, how you talk to people, how you treat people, how you look at other kids too now. Just life through a different lens is life becomes enhanced, I would say.
That's so beautiful. I have to ask you though, because of that, and then the health stuff, right? Several concussions.
Yep.
How do you look at that differently now, being a dad, removed from the season and like the craziness of it? Does it make you want to step back a little bit?
Well, no, I don't think it makes me want to, or it forces me to be afraid of wanting to come back and play. It definitely makes me want to do things to help myself, by hopefully, not being in those positions next year. So, we got like a plan set up, and I'll be doing judo on Fridays just so that I can kind of figure out, like understanding my body and how to fall and
Wait, that's what judo does?
You're about to be more dangerous than ever, man.
Oh man, not trying to be a dangerous person in that way. Just trying to help
understand
help
the
myself
body and movement. Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
I mean, how can you not root for this kid and love this kid? He's trying to get better. And Nick Hicks even confirmed, he said they're doing jiu-jitsu and judo break fall training. And he said, and Nick even went further and said that they've had a full comprehensive program built specifically for Tua based upon his needs assessment, which has been tailored towards football. I trust our team. It's not just jiu-jitsu, judo. It's sports specific to the issue at hand. So the team at Perform, taking all the measures necessary to prepare Tua and get him better. And like I told y'all, there's literally an art form to falling. This is not, I was not blowing smoke up out of everyone's ass. I was not making an excuse for Tua. People who don't know that have never been put in that position. They've never played major contact sports, it seems. Right? Okay? Hockey player. Guess what? You got to know how to fall on the ice. Some situations when you get hit, it's going to be too hard to brace yourself. You try to learn, you got to know your surroundings. You got to know how to fall. All right? Football, same thing. All right? It's literally taught in martial arts. Skateboarders. This is not something foreign here. That's new wave and new age because Tua needs it. Unbelievable. that people have never heard of this before. It just tells me that if those people have ever said they played sports at a high level, they were lying to you. Jason Mitchell, welcome to the Pro Bowl. Appreciate you for joining the Pro Bowl level. Thank you very much, Jason. So, listen, you got to respect Tua. Getting back to work, recognizing what he needs to improve in, and because I said this to y'all, he already cleaned up the ticky-tacky injuries. We didn't have to deal with that this year. Now, if he can clean this up, that's the next level. That is taking it to another level now. Now that you've, and shout out to William for subscribing. Now that you've taken that to that next level, man, now you just got to clean up this head stuff, and it's a gray area. Like we've gone over here multiple times. He will get back to his baseline, his brain baseline, before the concussion stuff by the time the new season starts. So it's going to be interesting to see how this offseason goes. And like we do every offseason, you already know we're going to have Nick Hicks back on here again. So be prepared. We were the first channel to have Nick on. We were the first channel to have Nick on multiple times. And we will have him on again. I've already discussed it with them. We'll have Nick back on. Nick, the absolute man. That's the homie right there. That is the absolute homie right there, man. So, can't wait to have him on and pick his brain. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff about this season to talk about, and some serious stuff to talk about as well, too. So, it'll be an interesting conversation when we get that going. Can't wait to have him on. All right, let's keep it rolling here. So, that was, Kay Adams. It was a great interview. Kay did her thing. Absolutely class act. Nothing but respect for Kay. She did her thing. And so after that, he went on Dan LeBatard. Now, after LeBatard, he had Florio and Simms booked, and he had Pat McAfee booked. This is what happened on Dan LeBatard that anyone with a logical mind and some common sense can realize. This is where his PR team would have pulled him and said, okay, enough of this. That's what people don't realize. Tua just doesn't say, okay, I'm out. His PR team okays that kind of stuff. Realize that. All right? And because the PR team can point to this, and anyone who's going to talk crap after seeing this shows what kind of human being they are. All right, this is what went down on the LeBatard Show. And shout out to EM Baller. He says, Sensei Tua gonna wreck the league, brother. I'm about to have Karate Kid memes coming out. The yin yang. You don't even know. You don't even know. All right, let's do this. This is what happened on LeBatard, and anyone with common sense and logic knows this is why Tua and his PR team pulled him from the rest of his interviews.
Throughout the season,
Dan. People were worried about you though last year. They were worried. You heard the people saying he should leave football. On our show, someone said the Dolphins should be charged for murder if you died on the field in Cincinnati. You heard people being concerned about you. You understand that concern, correct?
Yeah. But I just think it was a series of bad luck. It was very unfortunate. But I think you play this game understanding that those are going to be the risks that you're taking. And we had an opportunity to do something really special this year with the group of guys we had. But like I said, it was very unfortunate this year.
But how many people close to you were saying, is this worth it, especially as you're talking about the joys of being a new father?
Yeah, my wife, my parents, people close in my circle, all of them questioned it. But at the end of the day, it was essentially just going to be my decision on if I wanted to continue playing or not.
Should Mike McDaniel have been charged for your murder, even though you're very much alive?
Did you ever consider it, like charging them with murder?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
No.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Good.
So, I mean, like, can you believe this? Like, asked, literally asked if your family would sue the NFL if you died on the field and if Mike McDaniel should be charged for murder. Like, listen, you want to do a comedy shtick, you want to be funny, there's certain things you don't joke about. This was a very serious issue. Tua, do you think Tua's happy the fact he lost games and missed games? Do you think he was happy sitting there saying, man, if that was me out there instead of Skyler, could still be playing right now? Do you think that makes him happy? Let alone what him and his family went through? Can you imagine? You know, all of you big shots must not be married. Because I know I'm married, and I know I have a great wife, and I know my wife would be worried as crap if that kind of stuff was happening to me. But all y'all don't want to put yourself in his shoes because it's easier not to stand in your little shoes, in your little world, with your small-time minds, and point the finger without actually putting yourself in his shoes, understanding the circumstances, and realizing how tough that must have been. Do none of y'all have parents? Do none of y'all have brothers and sisters? Do none of y'all have loved ones, kids, wives, husbands? You're telling me if you didn't go through what Tua went through, that wouldn't be a emotional period for you? With what you'd be having? Think of how guilty you would feel, even though you know it's not your fault, but by making everyone feel that way. And now you got these clowns asking you this stuff about, oh, well, if you died, would they sue? I'd be like, bro, I just talked my wife off a ledge about me going back to play football because we have a newborn now, and you're asking me this kind of crap? I would have got up and walked out right there. Tua is the type of person he's already let y'all know. He didn't like the fact that his marriage got out. Like, Tua's publicly said he's a private person. Who asked that kind of stuff? What kind of lowbrow journalism is that? You should be ashamed of yourself. The fact that people like you have a platform is what's wrong with this industry. It's unreal. And guess what? I'd say it right to LeBatard's face and his crew's little face. Right to the face. And if I ever see them, I'll say it right to their face too. I got no problem doing that. You got no issue doing that. Unbelievable. That is absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, I know a lot of Dolphin fans listen to that channel, man. This is why I don't listen to these clowns. And that's clearly why. Why would you want to go and do any more interviews after those questions? I'd be like, yo, man, I'm just going to do my Subway thing. They're paying me to be here. This line of questioning is ridiculous. That would turn me off wanting to do media. Especially if you know Florio and Simms are your next ones on the docket. If I just saw what Dan LeBatard do, why would I give Florio and Simms my time now? Like I said, the only one I feel bad that he canceled on was Pat McAfee. But I could see that. I would be like, yo, screw these people. Like I said earlier, he owes the media nothing. All these people have been doing is bashing him. He owes them nothing. Zilch, zero, nada. Unless they're putting the De Niro, the guap, the cake on the table, he don't owe them a damn thing. Period. And see? People seem to forget. Kamisi says it. This is why Beast Mode did what he did as it pertained to interviews. Don't y'all remember Beast Mode when he was with Seattle? Or some of y'all fair weather Dolphin fans and fair weather football fans and only been fans recently? Y'all don't remember? Seems a lot of the Tua haters are, because they would. I saw someone in the chat saying, "Well, he's hurting our franchise." How? By giving us the best production we've had at that position when he's healthy since Dan Marino? Yeah, that's hurting us. But look at what Marshawn said. And Samuel, bro, if that was my kid, that was one of my daughters, I'll tell him, yo, leave those clowns, get out of here. Another thing too. We'll get into it. Actually, we'll get into it when we get there. So he canceled on Florio and Simms minutes before, like 3 or 5 minutes before, and watch how petty Mike Florio and Chris Simms got. I mean, if this doesn't make you smile and laugh, I don't know what will on your Saturday.
Anyway, coming up, a great conversation with Sean Payton.
I can't even mention two
Great conversation with Aiden Hutchinson.
Right.
Great conversation with George Kittle.
Right.
Great conversation with Michael Parsons. And great conversation with Brian Williams. And we appreciate very much
that they come
the willingness
and they don't
of
cancel
folks
on us
to show up, to cancel on a timely basis if they can't make it, to not be petty at all and get in a position where personal biases get in the way of what may be in the client's best interest. Because I would say that for any player in the NFL, and this is nothing against any other show that's out there, because there are great shows out there, great networks, great hosts, but you and I have developed a chemistry between us that translates to when we bring a third person on, we have a fun conversation, a real conversation, and the guest is comfortable saying something that doesn't hurt the guest.
Right.
Because I think what happens is people get caught up in cliches because they're afraid they're going to say something that hurts them. They say something meaningful that doesn't hurt them because we're not trying to set them up to say something that's against their interests. We're trying to show empathy, compassion, humanity, and get away from the robots we see in uniform. And it's hard not to look at these guys as cyborgs out on the field with all the gear. And when you see them walk by before a game, it's intimidating. Here, they look like us. They're dressed like us. Some better than others.
Definitely.
Some better than us.
Smarter.
Most better than us. But
All
it gives them
better
a chance to have a real conversation. And we appreciate that. And we appreciate the folks that make their clients available, the players who show up, and the folks who, don't cancel, as the
2
interview's
minutes
supposed
before
to
it
begin.
start. Right. That's some BS. Right. Kind of a high-level quarterback that did that to us in their camp, and we won't go into the names.
That's okay.
We won't go into names.
I'm the one that led you down that path.
We had fun. We're good. And we're having a blast right now. And then, we got plenty of stuff to talk about anyways. And we had great interviews, so who gives a damn? Let's go on and let's be happy.
All right, so awards handed out.
We don't need him. We got other stuff to talk about anyway. Don't think, hey, it didn't get past us. You just called Tua Tagovailoa a high-level quarterback. Don't think it got past us. My, how the tables have turned, Chris. Did you just call this man a high-level quarterback? What are you going to do? Are you going to put him lower on your little quarterback rankings that are wrong every year? Is that what you're going to do? Is that your way of getting back? And then I like how, if you listen to their wording too, they're pinning it on his agent or his PR team as well, right? That's why they keep using the word clients. If you look at it, they're pinning on not just Tua, they're pinning it on his team as well. Obviously, Pat McAfee, he just mentioned that Tua canceled. They didn't go on this little tirade. We didn't see tears flowing, babies crying. These two sounded like they need their diaper changed and their bottle warmed up in the microwave. What a bunch of babies. You talked all that smack on this guy. Florio, let's start with you. You've predicted this man was going to be replaced by everyone but the local plumber. You've been wrong. All right? Chris Simms, you've hated on this man since he came out. Why? Because I've already said this. I think it's something as stupid as he hates the fact that a lefty is more successful, much better, and more popular than him. So, listen. You're clowns. You didn't deserve it. You guys did not deserve that interview at all. Pat McAfee's the only one who deserved one. And you know why? Pat McAfee was a class act even when Tua canceled. You know why? Because Pat McAfee probably understood, because he's a former player. You guys are more concerned about your own damn selves. Bunch of clowns, man. Absolute clowns. Absolute clowns. Unreal. Get petty. You know what? We bathe and bask in your tears. All right? Funny how y'all went from bashing the kid to now you're crying that he won't give you all the time of day. Unbelievable. Watch, Mr. I have colleagues that practice law with and against Florio. He was a joke then. He's a joke now. Worked for the Houston Texans of law firms. A loser since birth. He looks like it, bro. He literally looks like the kid that no one was friends with in high school. He was the last kid picked in gym class and on the schoolyard. Everyone stuffed him in lockers. In dodgeball, everyone just pelted him with dodgeballs. He looks like that kid. And then, well, I'm going to get these guys back. I'm just going to work real hard. I'm going to go through college. I'm going to get a good job. And then I'm just going to get them back. All these athletes, I'm just going to get them back. That's exactly what he feels like. He's never in with them, so he comes for them. And he sees, I don't know. The guy's a clown, bro. The guy is legitimately a clown. Legitimately a clown. All right. Moving on. Tua further confirmed something we've talked about on this channel multiple times, but now we can hear it from the man's mouth. He was talking to USA Today. This clip came out. He talks about the whole final concussion protocol. Check what he says.
I know you were in concussion protocol for a while. For those who don't know, what was that like for you, and what did you have to go through to get, cleared?
Yeah. So for concussion protocol, I think the team did me the biggest service throughout that, and they never allowed me to go through protocol normally until the season was done.
So there you go.
So that's why it might have seemed like
that told
it
me
took
on
forever.
That I put on Patreon that there was no chance.
They were just protecting me from myself, and I'm very, me and my family are very thankful, to the Dolphins. But it really entailed a lot of exertion, so like running, ocular and vestibular movements, so like balance, proprioception, things like that, and having went to see a doctor in Pittsburgh, got cleared from him, and then had to do written tests,
so it was
memorization.
Good.
Correct. Yeah. And so
I feel like a lot of people, or at least on, of course, social media, which you take with a grain of salt, it feels like everyone took it personally, and they're like, I wouldn't go back out if I were him. So how do you deal with all that criticism online and, keep moving forward? That's not easy, I can imagine.
Yeah, I just don't listen to it. And another one is I don't go on social media. So I have someone that runs my social media accounts for me that helps put posts out there and things like that. But yeah, I think that's like the most epiphany of a way for anyone to kind of, what would you say, deal with those stressors
you have
of
to block
outside
it
noise.
out, man.
Yeah,
you have to. It's bad for yourself, for your health.
So there you go. Tua straight up saying that, listen, the Dolphins held me out. They didn't even let me go through normal protocol until the season was done. He did written tests where he was having to memorize stuff. He got cleared by independent doctor. He said that. On top of that, he stays off social media. Someone who runs his accounts. Listen, he's better than I am. He's better than a lot of us. He stays away from the toxicity of this fan base. Good for him. And from the media. So, again, confirmed that he wasn't even allowed to go through normal protocol. So all of you that were, oh, he should retire, he's one hit away. All you who think you had your little Google PhDs, right? And your little Google MDs, your medical doctorates, you were wrong. We told y'all you were wrong. Continue to be wrong about this kid, and he will continue proving all of us who believe in him right. Period. That's our quarterback, baby. Yeah, that's our quarterback. So, Tua getting healthy, good to see. Confirms what we already knew, that the team was being extra cautious and holding him out. They were not playing around. And good on the team for, look at what he said. They protected him from him. So the rumors we heard of him wanting to come back for the playoffs were clearly true. And he that's his way of saying, I wanted to come back. They wouldn't let me. Shout out to Denisha. She turned 21 yesterday. Happy birthday to you, Denisha. Appreciate you, one of the mods here. Everyone show Denisha some birthday love. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of y'all showing her some love. Again, they weren't going to let him go to the Pro Bowl. I kept saying that. You saw the push Jalen Ramsey gave Tyreek Hill and that big cut Tyreek got on his arm. Even though it was a flag football game, why are you going to risk something happening with Tua? It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Really, it isn't. And another thing, too, that here, guys. Alec Ingold, he said some interesting things about Tua yesterday. And this is from a player's perspective. I want y'all to listen to what Alec Ingold had to say regarding Tua yesterday during the media day.
Did you know before the season started that Tua was going to be as good as he was? Because he was getting crushed.
That's a great question. And I think I've never seen, the media just going crazy one way or another with the guy. And I think what's crazy is, I didn't understand how much Tua was doing. When you go and you watch some of the game tape, you were just watching, I'm clicking through, I'm watching my stuff, I'm focusing on the offense. And then all of a sudden, Coach McDaniel will come up the next day and he'll break down the film. He's like, look at Tua's eyes here. Look at what he's doing and how he's manipulating the defense. Look at his footwork, and he's just making this up. Look at how he throws the ball, and this is out of the progression. I've never seen this, and he's just inventing football right now, and it's like, wow.
Whoa.
That's where you start to see the intricacies, the details that Tua is able to do for us when he was playing ball. It was really, really cool.
Oh, would you look at that? People who know how to watch film, like me, Ball Game, and Martin, point out the intricacies, and they're blown away by that. They nerd out about that. Well, who would have thought, huh? See what happens when you got people who notice how a lot of the people who believe in Tua know how to watch film. A lot of people who hate on Tua don't know. Kind of telling, isn't it? So, I mean, you saw Mike McDaniel telling Alec Ingold he's inventing football with some of the things he does. Look at that. But you got idiots up here who think because panels had to let anyone else up on them, will let anyone up, all of a sudden their opinion matters, tried to tell all y'all that Tua fakes his reads. This is the idiocy in this community. Anyone who says that, how do you fake a read? By looking at someone? If you look at someone, you're making the read. You're making the progression. How do you fake that? And people actually think they know football and have takes like that. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Oh my God. Oh, that's like walking in a room, killing everyone and saying you're not a murderer. Unbelievable. So, yeah, when you got people who know how to watch film, players who know how to watch film, coaches that know how to watch film, saying stuff like that, just makes me feel even better about the breakdowns me, Martin, and Ballgame have been doing. Best in the game, hands down. You already know what time it is, man. Phinside The NFL, Tua Tuesdays. All right. Guys, I just keep digging, and I just keep finding metrics that counter every bad thing we heard coming out of Denver about Butch Barry. And let's show some of those to you. So when we look at true pass set grades from last year, I want everyone to look. Denver is 11. Denver is 11th. So just outside the top 10. All right? But when we go even further, when you look at their pass protection ratings, right? This is PFF grade, Sports Info Solution, and ESPN pass block win rate. Now look at where they are. 13th. You got a team under true pass set grade on the cusp of top 10. You got a pass protection ratings top 15. Right? Top 10 in pass block win rate. Top 10 in run block win rate. Top 10 in blown block and penalty rate. Again, guys, the metrics are not backing up what we're seeing. Or, sorry, what we're hearing and what we're seeing coming out of Denver. They're just not. So I don't know. Again, I'm going to say this like I said earlier. We're going to have to use our eyes on this one. Right? The Broncos didn't even have all the personnel they properly needed to make that shift from a mainly power gap to a wide zone. So, and we didn't even go over where we were rated on those, right? On pass protection ratings, the Dolphins were 29th. On true pass set grade, we were 31st. Denver looked a lot better than us, no? And they had just as many injuries. We've gone over how many injuries they have had. An absolute ton of injuries. Right? You got their starting left tackle missed the majority of the season. Dalton Risner missed games. Like, that's what I like. Just as depleted, yet somehow they managed to finish on the cusp of 10, top 15 on most things. Like, really? Again, it just doesn't, it's not overly matching up. It really isn't. I mean, starting left tackle only played 28% of the share of snaps. Luke Risner only played 85% of the share. Their starting center, Cushionberry, only played 44%. Miners only played 66% of the snap share. Their right tackle only played 42% of the snap share. And then their backup offensive tackle and backup center were also hurt. So they had just as many injuries. So, I mean, let's be honest, man. You know, they averaged over 4.4 yards per carry with all those backups. They had the 8th best time in the pocket to throw. So, I don't know, man. It is just a lot of stuff is not backing up what we were hearing coming out of Denver. And I just keep going back to it, and I just keep seeing it. I don't know. If you didn't see it, I want to go over it just quickly here. For the MVP voting, there you go. Tua Tagovailoa got a MVP vote. Danny Kellington, who people might be wondering, that's actually who saved Damar Hamlin's life on the field. He got a 5th place vote. Herbert got a vote. Tyreek Hill got a 5th place vote. But you see, obviously, Patrick Mahomes ran away with the award at the top. I can't believe whoever gave Josh Allen a 1st place vote is crazy. Josh Allen did nothing to earn a first-place vote this year. Unreal that he got a first-place vote. And then for Offensive Player of the Year, Tyreek Hill got one first-place votes. You see him fourth all the way down there. Justin Jefferson, though, ran away. But it's crazy. They're only 100 yards within each other and a couple touchdowns. And he blew away Tyreek. Tyreek didn't even come close. And again, who gave Josh Allen a first-place vote for Offensive Player of the Year? That is nuts. That is nuts that this man got a first-place vote for Offensive Player of the Year. Tell me that guy voting. He got a first-place vote in MVP and a first-place vote in Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, clearly it was the same person, and clearly that person must work in Western New York. Good God. I don't know what journalist gave them that, but that person was clearly not watching football and got caught up and went to the preseason rankings and said, oh, he was in the MVP talk. Give it to him. Unreal. And then Barry Jackson had this interesting article, Dolphins hoping to develop Rowan McKinley as second Oregon safety and where he stands. So the Dolphins, to their credit, found two quality defensive backs amid the chaos and fierce competition of post-draft free agency. With Caterco, who they know they have a strong starting quality NFL cornerback, according to position coach Sam Madison. With Rowan McKinley, the Dolphins know they have, at the very least, a developmental safety with upside and a special teams player. The question whether they have a long-term rotational player on defense, something that must still play out. There's growth that he needs to make as a young player, and those things will come with time. But I think he's done a really good job of being a mature player, understanding the situation that he's in, and trying to go out and execute at a high level and communicate and do things that we need to do to try and win football games, safety coach Steve Gregory said in late December of McKinley before Gregory was fired 5 days after the playoff loss to Buffalo. McKinley played 253 defensive snaps this past season and allowed only one of 3 passes thrown in his coverage area to be caught. I mean, man, great for UDFA, huh? For 8 yards and an interception and a passer rating of 2.8. That's exceptional. He said his strength is taking the right angles as a defender and understanding the game and where they're trying to attack us, what they're doing at the line, what their favorite concepts are, who they are trying to go at, maybe the weakness. He said the biggest question that he needed to address with scouts was speed. You get to your pro day, you overthink it. It doesn't go as well as you think, but at the end of the day, when I get on the field, I've shown I can play to the speed of the NFL. It's different when you're running a 40 and playing in games. But does he have the confidence now that he's an NFL player? He said, I had the confidence before, but learning and growing and getting games has helped me get a little bit more comfortable for sure. Having his friend and former Oregon teammate Javon Holland with him for his first pro season was a tremendous help. We don't live that close to each other, about 15-20 minutes apart, but he lived with me when he was renovating his house. We're here at Dolphins headquarters at Hard Rock Stadium all the time together and do stuff outside the facility. It's been a blast. Just from the jump, when you have kind of your best friend and somebody you've spent a lot of time with, it makes it a little easier. Just understanding Miami, how the NFL works, our system has definitely been a big help. McKinley said he has watched a lot of tape with Holland outside of team meetings. After games, even throughout the week, early on when I wasn't playing, I was still watching film so I could learn what we were doing. He appreciates that Miami coach Mario Cristobal, his former coach at Oregon, has checked in on them. He always stays in touch with me, my family. He's like family to me, McKinley said. He's been in touch. He's been supportive on my journey. He's believed in me from the jump, so it's not a surprise to him. What the Dolphins think of McKinley will be reflected in the type of investment they make in a third safety this offseason behind Holland and Brandon Jones, who's coming off into season-ending ACL injury. The Dolphins spend on two former starting safeties. That might not bode well for McKinley earning a lot of playing time on defense in 2023. They re-sign Eric Rowe or sign only one veteran. That could create an opportunity to earn playing time beyond special teams. I would say the fact that you're undrafted, you definitely have a chip on your shoulder, he said. I'll see it as an opportunity. You get your opportunity. You have to make the most of it. Love that attitude. Absolutely love that attitude for old McKinley. Get better. And I know he's talking about being in the facility with Javon Holland. Javon Holland just put out a video a couple days ago. He was yesterday. It was yesterday, the day before. He was at the headquarters working out, man. Out there at the Dolphins headquarters, not going down the slide, but working out and getting better. I love these kids. I love that they're going to get better. Guys, 350 of you in the room, please do me the favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I got some news for you guys, too. I will have a Patreon update tonight about a name that, if this name does not stay in their current location, I know for a fact the Dolphins are very high on this player's list. On top of that, I did some checking in with a source I have connected to the Hurricanes, and I got some information, and I will tell you what they told me in regards to Butch Barry. So I will have an update on what I heard from Miami Hurricane source on Butch Barry, and also a player I'm hearing that if they do not stay with the team, they're about to be a free agent, and if they do not re-sign with the team they're currently with before free agency hits, I know we are high on their list. So look for that. Patreon and channel members, be on the lookout for that update. And if you're also a Patreon member, check out 3 Takes Thursday, episode 4. We dropped it last night. Gave my takes on Butch Barry. Gave my a take on Zach Thomas, and another third take that's going to be worth your time. Patreon.com/Phinside The NFL. It's literally scrolling right below me right now. Go sign up. You'll get that update later tonight when I drop it. And you'll also have content that's exclusive to Patreons as well as insider info access. Listen, also do me a huge favor. Go over on the community tab on YouTube. Doesn't matter if you're a channel member, Patreon, whatever. Just as long as it's open to the public. Go vote. Should I live react tomorrow with an open panel? Should I live react by myself? Or should I not do a live reaction at all to the Super Bowl? We've done one every year. Go vote. I will go based on your guys' vote. I've got the thumbnail ready and everything. So go vote. And I will, and I will be seeing y'all guys on the next one either way. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through on a midday matinee on Phinside The NFL. I'll see all y'all next time. You don't know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day. I'll either see y'all tomorrow for the Super Bowl or see y'all next week at the beginning of it. All right? Love all y'all. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Fins up, baby.